If I had to pick one genre of video games as my favourite, I'd probably pick fighting games. They're some of my favourite games that have ever been made, and so that's why today I'm going to share with you my top 5 favourite 2D fighting games. When I say 2D, I mean on a 2D plane, so the likes of Tekken, Soul Calibur won't be featured on this list. That's a list for a future date. So, let's see what I chose. Up first is Persona 4 Arena, probably the newest game on this list. When I first heard Atlus were going to be making a 2D fighting game based on the Persona series, I was a little dubious. But then when they said they were going to be collaborating with Arc System Works, famous for Guilty Gear and BlazBlue, that little bit of skepticism slowly subsided, and then when I finally played the game, I was utterly thrilled. This is probably one of the nicest looking games that have come out in a long time, admittedly it is quite old now. The fluidity of combat, the animations, sound effects, the music, all sit in really well with it, and it does have that Persona 4 theme. The only thing I would say with it is that it does take a little bit of time getting used to. There is a one button auto combo that you can just constantly mash, but the damage is pretty pathetic. Other than that though, once you get the hang of using your own persona and your combos at the same time, it does get really intense. Probably one of the better ones that I've played in a long time, and I really should pick up its sequel as well. Now from something relatively new to something relatively old, Mugen is my next choice. While technically not a game itself, the Mugen engine has been around long enough that hundreds of fan created fighting games have been made using it. Things like Capcom SNK clones to full brand new IPs. If you ever wanted to have hundreds characters in one game, this is the game for you. So you could have Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter versus Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin, each beating the living hell out of each other. Recently I've been playing Hyper Dragon Ball Z, and it plays just like a retail game. It shows how much dedication these people have to making their own games. I'd highly recommend downloading a pack or any of the hundreds of versions that are out there, you won't be disappointed. Next is Super Smash Bros. For most people, the best version is Melee, but personally for me, it's the newer version of these games, especially the fact that I can take one portable with me properly these days. Much like Mugen, you have a plethora of Nintendo characters that you can fight on a multitude of different stages and with a variety of rules. It's a lot more in-depth than people tend to think, but it does mean that it's one of the few fighting games I can bust out at a party and people will actually join in with. If you don't like Smash, you're just salty. Runner-up is Street Fighter, or more specifically Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. This is the fighting game series that got me and a lot of people into fighting games, and we pretty much owe everything there is to fighting games from these games. I mean special moves, combos, anything you can think of in most modern fighting games was developed in the majority of Street Fighter games. I was never a fan of Mortal Kombat growing up, and much like the whole Nintendo versus Sega debate, I always played Street Fighter. While I do like the newer versions such as Street Fighter 5, for me, Third Strike just has something about it that always gravitates me back to it. Whether it's just the mechanics or the art style, I find it is the best game out of the bunch. If you've never played a Street Fighter, where have you been? Now some honourable mentions. BlazBlue and Guilty Gear are two series that I constantly keep buying, but I'm not very good at. Where I really do like the visuals and the art style, it's the soundtrack that I find to be one of the best things about this. Maybe one day I'll actually get my execution to be good enough to play them properly. Marvel Super Heroes for the Sega Saturn is another game that I really do think is probably one of the better fighters on the system. It has massive sprites, colourful animations, and the fact that I can beat the living hell out of Wolverine with Spider-Man really brings a smile to my face. Tatsunoko vs Capcom All-Stars on the Wii is an exclusive that has never really got that much attention, though it is well known in the fighting game community. With the ability of playing through heroes and villains from Japanese anime and manga versus classic Capcom characters and some that never really get used that often, this is one exclusive that you really should find out. And finally, Jump Superstars for the Nintendo DS. If you're into anime and manga, you can't get much better than this game. And don't let the Japanese language barrier fool you, it's not actually that hard to play considering that all you have to do is just murder people. And my number one pick is Ultimate Marvel vs Capcom 3. To me, this is my favourite 2D fighter, and not much is ever going to change that. From the characters, to the soundtrack, to the visuals, to the fight mechanics, everything about it just plays so well, even if I'm still not that good at it after the game been out for multiple years. I still watch competitive fights online, and always watch EVO. I really do hope it's included again this year. My only gripe at the moment is that the PS4 version doesn't allow for PS3 arcade stick support, so I'm stuck using a fight pack, which brings my pretty poor level down quite another bunch of notches. Well, what's your favourite fighting games? Why don't you leave a comment down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe this video. Thanks for watching.